Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at an upcoming game called Gravelord. This game is going to be released on January 22nd, 2025, and it's developed and published by Fatbot Games. This is a fast-paced boomer shooter voiced by a badass protagonist featuring handcrafted levels filled with secrets and hordes of enemies to kill, dish out some brutal carnage with powerful guns, and collect tarot cards to gain even more killing power. Let's put the fun back in Funeral. So yes, this is a boomer shooter. Its inspirations are Doom and Quake for gameplay-wise, and Duke Nukem for character-wise, I guess. The protagonist that you play as constantly drops little quips, you know, things like death-related, corpse-related, stuff like that. As you might have guessed from the title Gravelord, you play as a gravedigger named Quito, who's described as dumb as hell but strong as an ox, and he sets out to avenge his father while using his trusty total uber shovel to beat the living crap out of his enemies and give him a first-class ticket to the underworld. So I feel like boomer shooters don't typically need that much story, although I guess the one I always go back to as like a reference for like the best boomer shooter of Dusk had quite a bit of storytelling, and yeah, this one has a lot of story. It starts with an opening cinematic cutscene, which is all in the game before release, because obviously all the gameplay you're seeing right now is pre-release gameplay, so it's already in a great state right now. And yeah, it gives you a little bit of backstory about Quito and why you're a gravedigger, what you're trying to do, things like that. This game is launching in early access, which is a decent model for boomer shooters, especially when they're like chapter focused, like Dusk was, and like this game is. Basically, the whole first episode is already in the game. The first episode is made up of 8 chapters, which are just the individual levels. And there's also a bonus level once you complete the first episode. So yeah, right now there's one episode which is made up of 8 levels. They plan to add 2 more episodes, so presumably another 16 levels in total. And at the time of recording, I've played for an hour and a half, and that's actually only got me through the first 3 out of 8 levels. So there's already a decent amount of content in this game at early access. And the early access description says that the bonus level is replayable, but obviously the base game is replayable as well, especially if you want to 100% each chapter, but they do explicitly say that the bonus level is replayable. This game really impressed me. It's really difficult. It does have difficulty settings, thank God. I played on medium because I knew I wasn't gonna like play the full thing, otherwise I definitely would have started on easy, and probably if I'd played any more than the 3 levels, I probably would have dropped it down to easy, because it is very tough, but I was having fun. It has a quick save and quick load feature. Basically you press F5 to quick save, and F9, which I rebind to F8 just out of habit, as quick load, and you are basically relying on quick saves and quick loads constantly. It's a little bit more of like a puzzle, kind of, than, you know, a full balls to the wall action boomer shooter. And I say that because enemy placement seems designed to kind of trick you or kind of catch you off guard. There'll be loads of times you'll do something in a room and then suddenly the walls will drop down and there's like 3 enemies shooting at you right there. And so pretty much after you do anything, after you finish a combat encounter, you're dropping a quick save, and then if you go into your next encounter and, you know, you take a bit too much damage, you just reload it and you try again. And I quickly got the hang of I need to be quick saving constantly, because yeah, I think at the start I got like a game over and lost a bit more progress than I wanted. And so that's one of the reasons why I say it's very difficult, is partially because the enemy placement is designed to catch you off guard. Like there's loads of times you walk into a room and you've got like 2 enemies like just around the corner and they just like shoot at you at the same time, and you know, basically you're designed to, or when you see something like that you realize, oh, I'm supposed to like poke my head into the room and then back out so they shoot, and then I go back in when they're reloading kind of thing. So there's like a little bit of trial and error I found. It was a lot of dropping a quick save, walking, straight ahead into an encounter, seeing what it composed of, and then reloading to make sure I got it right. And there were even some times where I would, if I took like one bit of damage in an encounter, I would just reload because I wanted to not take the damage. On medium difficulty especially, I found I always took a lot of damage. I was always very, very close to dead. And there's not a ton of health drops. There's an okay number of health drops, but I think with more health drops, I wouldn't have needed to rely on quick save and quick load as much as I did. But because I was pretty much always threatened with death, I was always quick saving and quick loading to make sure I wasn't taking too much damage in encounters. You start off with a shovel, which is just your melee weapon, infinite ammo as you'd expect. Fine at the start of the game where you're just killing very slow-moving zombies, but later on you'll encounter guys with guns, guys with shotguns, flying crows that dive bomb you and try to blow you up, just little satans that shoot fireballs at you. Obviously the shovel is only going to get you so far. As of right now, including the shovel, there are 6 weapons in the game. At the point I got to, I only got to 5 of them. The 6th weapon must be just ahead of where I stopped. But after you get the shovel, you unlock a flintlock pistol, and then you get a shotgun, you get a Gatling gun, and the last one I got was a grenade launcher. Apparently there's I think it says fumium gun. I'm not quite sure what that means. It's probably like a rail gun, something like that. And the neat part about these weapons, or at least the flintlock pistol and the shotgun that I discovered, was if you find specific secrets, you unlock kind of an alternate skill for the weapon. So the alternate skill for the flintlock I found was you could press right click to rapidly do 3 shots all at once, and then it has like a 3-second cooldown, something like that. The alternate skill for the shotgun I found was you can do one really powerful piercing shot, so it kind of gives the shotgun a little bit more range, lets you deal with like a line of enemies much easier. Very, very cool idea, and yeah, I only found the flintlock and shotgun alternate attack, but it was cool. It was a nice way of shaking the formula up. And this game really does shake the formula up quite a bit. It has this tarot card system, which you will find tarot cards randomly, not randomly, at set points throughout each level. You'll find tier 1, 2, and 3 tarot cards, and basically you're allowed to have one of each tier tarot cards. So by the end of the level, you've got your tier 1, your tier 2, and your tier 3 on your person, and they each give various effects. One of them was that enemies drop, basically every enemy drops 1 point of armor, because you can get armor as well as health, very similar to Doom. Another one was killing enemies randomly has a small chance of spawning a friendly rat who will go and attack enemies for you. So really fun perks, and you don't have to be locked to one of the skills at all. I think in every level you find one of each tier card, or maybe in some of the levels that they start repeating once you've unlocked them. So like at the end of the first level you might find another tier 1 card. And when you find a card that you've already got that tier of, you have the choice of keeping your current card or swapping it out for the one you just found. And whenever you find a card, you get a choice of 2, basically. So yeah, it was a really fun way of adding a little bit of variety, a little bit of customization to the game. When you take the card, the protagonist puts them in his Gravedigger hat, like in the brim. It's really cool. And honestly, all this kind of stuff is already enough to set it apart, at least for me, in terms of boomer shooters. And then it added the Spectral Shovel mechanic, which is basically like a hook shot that lets you kind of chain to very specific parts of the environment. You'll see once you unlock the Spectral Shovel in each level, because you once you go to a next level, you have to rediscover it, basically. You'll see these glowing purple walls, and if you hover your cursor over it and you press E, you will then like latch onto the wall and move over to it. Really cool, really adds some real dynamicism, that's a word, to the game and the level design. And so once you discover the Spectral Shovel, you can start backtracking through levels, and even before you discover the Spectral Shovel, the levels do kind of loop back, you know, upon themselves. Maybe you'll press a button and like a wall that was blocking you off before will drop, and you'll be like on top of an area you were before, something like that. It's very, very clever level design. There's not a ton in the way of graphics options right now. I found that it ran wonderfully for me. I was at 180 FPS, which is good because, yeah, you really can't change the graphics settings much at this point. Luckily, it looks wonderful and runs wonderful, for me at least. Hopefully further down the line they do give you a bit more customization options for the graphics. But yeah, as of right now, it does the job and it runs really well, and it looks great. So overall, I was really, really impressed with this. Like it's launching not only in early access, but I was playing a pre-launch version only a few days, several days before it comes out. But it all works. It all runs well. It's fun. It's got a ton of unique features. I was very, very impressed by this. There you go, that was a look at Gravelord. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!